disaster that changed the world. 1. Introduction, setting the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. We are gathered not just to remember a moment in history, but to understand a turning point in human experience, the Chernobyl disaster. On April 26, 1986, the world witnessed the most catastrophic nuclear accident in history. But it wasn't just about a reactor exploding. It was about science, secrecy, sacrifice, and survival. Today, I'll take you through that story. We'll look at what happened, why it happened, the immediate aftermath, the human cost, the long-term consequences, and the legacy that still affects us today. 2. What was Chernobyl? Chernobyl was a nuclear power plant located near the town of Pripyat in what is now Ukraine. The plant had 4 RBMK 1000 nuclear reactors, and it was one of the largest and most advanced in the Soviet Union at the time. The workers and their families lived nearby in a model Soviet city, modern, young, and vibrant. Nuclear energy was a source of pride in the USSR. It symbolized progress, power, and a better future. But under that ambition was a system riddled with flaws, both technical and political. 3. The night of the disaster. On the night of April the 25th to 26th, 1986, a safety test was being conducted on reactor number 4. The goal was to simulate a power outage to ensure the reactor could be safely shut down until backup generators kicked in. But the test was poorly designed, and due to delays and miscommunication, it was carried out by an inexperienced night shift under dangerous conditions. In a series of mistakes, some due to human error, some due to the reactor's flawed design, reactor number 4 went out of control. At 1:23 a.m., the reactor exploded, not just once, but twice. The core was exposed, and radioactive material began pouring into the atmosphere. 4th, immediate response and secrecy. The explosion lit up the night sky. Firefighters were called, but they had no idea they were fighting a radioactive inferno. Many of them were exposed to lethal doses of radiation within minutes. They wore no protection, only their uniforms. Some were dead within weeks. Meanwhile, the Soviet government hesitated. For 36 hours, the city of Pripyat was not evacuated. Children played outside. People fished in the river. All while invisible radiation poisoned the air. It wasn't until Sweden detected abnormal radiation levels that the Soviet Union admitted something had happened. 5th, evacuation and the human cost. On April 27, 1986, 50,000 residents of Pripyat were told to evacuate for a few days. They left everything behind: homes, pets, photos, lives. Most never returned. Thousands of soldiers, miners, and workers, called liquidators, were sent in to contain the damage. Some cleared radioactive debris by hand on the reactor's roof. They were only allowed 90 seconds of exposure. Official numbers claim fewer than 50 deaths directly from the disaster, but estimates of long-term radiation-related deaths range from 4,000 to over 90,000. Thyroid cancer spiked, children born with defects, entire communities displaced. 6. Environmental impact in the exclusion zone. The explosion released 400 times more radiation than the Hiroshima bomb. Contaminated clouds spread across Europe, Belarus, Russia, Poland, even as far as the UK. The Chernobyl exclusion zone, covering 30 kilometers, was created. Nature reclaimed the land. Ironically, without human activity, wildlife has flourished in this radioactive forest. The sarcophagus built over the reactor was a rush job. In 2016, a new steel shelter, called the New Safe Confinement, was installed, costing over $2 billion. Chernobyl remains uninhabitable for thousands of years. 7. Fallout beyond radiation. The fall of trust. Chernobyl wasn't just a nuclear disaster. It was a political earthquake. The secrecy, the lies, the denial shattered public trust in the Soviet system. Historians argue that Chernobyl played a significant role in the eventual fall of the Soviet Union. Mikhail Gorbachev himself said it was a bigger blow than the collapse of the Berlin Wall. The disaster sparked global changes in nuclear safety protocols. It forced transparency. It made the world rethink the cost of technological arrogance. 8. Chernobyl. Today, memory and legacy. Today, Chernobyl is a haunting monument. Tourists visit, documentaries are made. The HBO series brought global attention. Survivors still suffer. Some have returned to live in nearby villages, refusing to leave their homes behind. The question that remains is, have we learned our lesson? Well, looks like it's the end. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.